Hey guys, it's Miss Lassiter. I'm going to go over some of the word problems and I'm going to do a detailed explanation, and you should probably listen to the whole explanation, then pause the video and take notes so that you have examples of how these problems are done. The first problem says Hector, Teddy, and Jim scored a total of 4,670 points playing a video game. Teddy scored 316 points less than Hector. Teddy scored 3 times as many points as Jim. How many points did Teddy score? So when I look at that type of problem, I try to think of who scored the fewest points, and that would be Jim, because Teddy scored 3 times as many as Jim. So I write a letter J to represent Jim, and I let one little rectangle be Jim's amount. Then Teddy scored 3 times as many, so I make his be 3 rectangles, and then it says Teddy scored 316 points less than Hector. So I make Hector be the same length as Teddy's plus one more that says 316 inside. The total points scored by the boys is 4,670. So from this I can see that these 7 rectangles plus that extra 316 points is equal to the total of 4,670. So the 7, I'll call them units, is going to equal the 4,670 minus 316. So the 7 units is equal to 4,354. So then 1 unit is equal to 4,354 divided by 7, which is equal to 622. So that means every little rectangle is equal to 622 units. And it says, how many did Teddy score? Well, Teddy is 3 units, so it will be 3 times 622, which is equal to 1,866 points. And that is the answer to the question. Hey guys, the second problem says the cost of 4 belts and 5 ties is $247. Each tie costs 3 times as much as a belt. What is the total cost of a tie and a belt? So the tie is 3 times as much as a belt, so I let B equal belt, and then a tie would be 3 times the price. So what did they buy? They bought 4 belts, and then they bought 5 ties, and I see that's a total of $247. This is 19 total units because there are 19 little rectangles, so 19 units is equal to 247, so 1 unit would equal 247 divided by 19, so we get 1 unit is equal to $13. So a belt is $13, a tie is 3 times $13, which is $39. So the total for a tie and a belt is equal to $13 plus $39, which is a total of $52. And that's the answer to the problem. Next problem reads, a florist had an equal number of red and yellow tulips. She sold 624 red tulips. Then she had 4 times as many yellow tulips as red tulips. How many tulips did she have at first? So this is kind of a before and after picture. So I'm going to write after, and I'm going to draw this as that's what she had left of red, and yellow she had 4 times as many. So before, what she had was she had the same amount. And again, I use R for red and Y for yellow. So now what we look at is that this is what she got rid of. And so this, she was 624. And that would represent 3 units. So 3 units is equal to 624. So 1 unit is going to equal 624 divided by 3. So it's equal to 208 tulips. But the question is, how many did she have at first? And so if you look at the before drawing, you can see there would be a total of 8 units. So 8 units would equal 8 times 208, which equals 1664. So there are 1,664 tulips to start. That's the answer. Okay, next problem. Ella and Michelle had $1,250. Ella and Surya had $830. Michelle had 4 times as much as Surya. How much did Ella have? So I look at that. Michelle had 4 times as much as Surya. So I'm going to make S be 1 and Michelle be 4 of those. And then Ella is just some random amount, so I'm just going to make Ella be, I don't know, some long bar. So the first says Ella and Michelle, so I'm going to draw Ella and Michelle had a total of $1,250. And then Ella and Surya had a total of $830. So if I look at these two pictures, they differ by this amount, so that amount would equal the difference between 1,250 and 830, which is 420. So that's 3 units is 420. So 1 unit would equal 420 divided by 3, which is equal to 140. But the question is, how much did Ella have? So if I look at this picture, this tells me Ella and Surya had a total of 830. So Ella would be 830 minus Surya's, which is 140, which equals 690. So Ella had $690. One way to check to see if this is right, I could look at Ella and Michelle. And so I could check and see, does 690 plus 4 times 140 equal 1,250? And it does, so I know I did it right. This next problem says Mandy is 12 years old and Natcha is 15 years older. In how many years will Natcha be twice as old as Mandy? So what I do is I make a chart and I make M represent Mandy's age and N Natcha's age, and then this is the time. So now Mandy is 12 years old, so Natcha must be 27 because she's 15 years older. And then I'm checking to see, is Natcha's age twice Mandy's? And the answer is no. So then 1 year from now, Mandy will be 13, Natcha's 28. Is 28 twice 13? No. In 2 years, Mandy will be 14 and Natcha will be 29. Is that twice? No. In 3 years, Mandy's 15, Natcha's 30. So 30 is twice 15. So the answer is 3 years. In 3 years, one will be twice as old as the other. This last kind of problem is one of my favorite. It tells you there are a total of 20 cars and motorcycles all together in a parking lot. The total number of wheels is 50. How many motorcycles are there? So I have cars and I have motorcycles. Cars have 4 wheels. Motorcycles have 2. And I know the number of cars and motorcycles has to add to 20. And then I'm going to calculate how many wheels in all. And then the question is, does it equal 50? So I'm going to make sure that these two numbers add to 10. I'm going to hold that constant. So I say, suppose I have 10 cars, 10 motorcycles. Well, the number of wheels would be 4 times 10 plus 2 times 10, which is 60, which is not equal to 50. So this would be too many wheels, so I know I need to have fewer cars. So I'm going to go down. I'm going to go down by a couple. So I choose 8 cars, so that bumps motorcycles up to 12. So then I do 4 times 8 plus 2 times 12, and that's 32 plus 24, that's 56, and again, that's not equal to 50. So I bump down again. I have 6 and 14, 4 times 6 plus 2 times 14, that's 24 plus 28, and that's 52, and that's not equal to 50. You can notice that as I bump the cars down by 2, the number of wheels goes down by 4. So I need to go down 2 more. So I'm only going to go down by 1 this time. I'm going to try 5 and 15. And I do 4 times 5 and 2 times 15. And I have 20 plus 30, which is 50. And yes, that's 50 wheels. And then the question is, how many motorcycles are there? So there are 15 motorcycles. And that's it.